Behind every mission, there's a plan. Behind every plan, there's a soldier, training, leading, and getting the job done. This is the Kentucky National Guard's G3 podcast, where we share the stories, lessons, and leadership that keep our Guard always ready, always there.
Welcome, hello to the G3P. I'm your favorite podcast platoon sergeant, Sergeant B, and we've been on a little bit of a siesta. Is that what it is, Crane? Shake your head yes or no, maybe. I don't know my Spanish too well. But we've been on a little bit of a break, so a little rusty today. But we are back, and we have an episode to talk about some tactics, some procedures, and some of the training that's went on throughout the state as we go into, basically, we all know that kind of that annual training stage of the year. So a lot of units going out, doing some training, some going OCONUS, some not, going in different areas, some different countries, and learning different procedures there and learning different training areas as well. So we're going to bring some knowledge base today, and without further ado, let's introduce the guests. We have Staff Sergeant Chay Burkhead, welcome, and we have Staff Sergeant Scott Zelensky. How are y'all doing today, boys?
Doing good.
Doing good. How was the drive in?
Not bad. Not too far.
Yeah. With that, man, what about all this stuff going on? You eating your fruits and vegetables right now? It's insane. Like, if you're out there, I mean, you want to stay healthy, but watch what you're doing right now. Wash your vegetables, cook those, or wash your fruits, I guess, and cook your vegetables. I'm not even a doctor. I learn everything from the water cooler. But good Lord, man, it's crazy. But staying healthy. Glad to have y'all on the show today. Y'all just got back from annual training in El Gato, is what we was calling it, right?
Yeah,
and that was in Ecuador. So one of the first times in a while that somebody's went over there for an annual training from what I'm tracking. I know we do some stuff through SPP, but before we do all that, let's find out a little bit about you. So Sergeant Burkhead, we'll start with you. So when did you get in the Guard?
I got in the Guard in 2013.
Yeah?
Yep.
And came in as a 31 Bravo?
I did.
Okay. And then
wanted to come in as field artillery, but my
really?
recruiter told me that there was no spots. Which
King of the battle. That's where I come from. But so end up going 31 Bravo. Was you joining with like a buddy, or was it just you at the time?
No, I actually was going to join in high school,
Yeah.
and then I talked myself out of it. It's
Yeah.
like, all my friends are doing it. I
Right.
don't want to just join because they're doing it. So I backed off for a couple years. I still just had that urge to
Yeah.
join, so
Yeah.
ended up going to a recruiter and getting in as a 31 Bravo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did that change kind of throw you off, or was you just good with it? You're like, I'll try this route.
No, yeah, I just
Yeah.
took it. Yeah. So,
Yeah. What about you, Sergeant Z? I'm Sergeant B. Sergeant Z.
Yep.
Sergeant Zelensky.
Sergeant Z.
When'd you get in?
So I got in October 2015. So I joined my senior year of high school.
Okay.
Had a
Was
few
you
guys.
split up? Was you split up, or was it after?
No,
After.
no,
Okay.
OSIT. So
Yeah.
enlisted early on in senior year of high school. Finished out the year and
Right.
then went to basic and AIT.
Yeah. Did y'all have family members that had served before, or was it just something you were talking about, like friends doing it? Was yours kind of the same situation, or what made you decide to join?
Mainly the friends. I know my dad was in the National Guard
Okay.
out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then my grandfather, he was actually in the Navy.
Gotcha.
So
Same for you, or is it?
No, for me, we had a really tight-knit like JRTC program.
Okay, yeah.
Where I went to school in
Right,
Wayne
right.
County, and that's the recruiters ended up pulling guys out of that
Yeah.
high school.
And that's something I've noticed kind of in the last couple of years of, younger recruits coming in. A lot of them are out of some kind of, junior ROTC program.
Right.
And I think it definitely helped. So, it kind of puts you on that path. But did it help you when you shipped off and stuff like that? Or was it?
It did, yeah. I felt like I had a little bit more knowledge.
Kind of an edge.
and kind of getting in, at least with rank structure and formations and all
Kind of that basic stuff.
Yeah, right. All
Yeah.
the basic stuff.
And you said you was 31 Bravo as well? Coming in as 31
Yeah.
Bravo?
Yeah,
All right,
enlisted.
military police, huh? Any background with it as far as after you got out of AIT? Did you do any kind of like law enforcement? Because I know some guys will go into like some kind of law enforcement field, or they just, I'm just 31B on the military side.
Oh, we were just talking about this yesterday. I never had the urge to be any type of law enforcement.
Okay.
But he was all but a police officer
Yeah.
before he
Yep.
got on his AGR.
Really?
The department ran out of money before I was able to swear in. And then
It's that damn money, man. It's everywhere, isn't it?
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, and like I said, I kind of see it teeters both sides when it comes to the 31 Bravo side. It's like military, like all about it. But then on the civilian side, you got some that do it and some that don't. So, but all right. So some of the training events I've kind of hit y'all up about, kind of you're a little bit of a history. You've done stuff with the SPP that I've seen. And how'd y'all get involved with that?
So myself, I was on my second rotation with 198th down on the southwest border, and right at the end of it, a job list that I was looking for full-time opportunities. So on the whatever they posted tech website, Sergeant Major 9 at the time, he was Sergeant Major. He told me about this position with the state partnership program. So he filled me in kind of what the state partnership program was. I was like the battalion DTS manager down there. So I put in for the job. I boarded. Lieutenant Colonel Cooper at the time hired me on as the admin and logistics NCO.
Was Stollard? Was Sergeant Major Stollard?
Yeah.
she was there too, right?
Yeah, I was First Sergeant Stollard at the time.
Okay.
I was working with her. She was kind of in the coordinator role that Randolph ended up taking later, and I started rolling forward, learning everything I could from them about the state partnership program.
And that was kind of like a little hidden gem once we started talking about it, because, I mean, I came from a unit level after 15 years, and it was just like certain things I'd always heard the name, just didn't really know what it was, the SPP and stuff like that. So when we did that episode, it's like kind of opened my eyes of like, there's a lot of stuff out there in the Guard that you can do and volunteer and go on, and do different training events, or, go over there to different kind of like seminars and NCODP. So it's like, that was something that was unique to me. So did you enjoy doing that?
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I learned a lot as far as like, I was the guy that got the teams out the door, did all the stuff that Sergeant Hill does now.
Right.
But yeah, before putting in for that job and talking to Sergeant Major 9 about it, I'd never even heard of the SPP program.
Yeah.
So I think it's really starting to make a big comeback in the Kentucky Guard.
Yeah.
As far as everybody knowing about it.
Right. Did you do any like ADOS orders or tech program or anything like that?
Yeah, so I actually served on the Honor Guard for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay. Dang. Okay, gotcha.
Yep,
How did it go? Good?
Yeah. It was
good experience? And
it was good. It was an honor to be a part of that team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a big deal, and I mean I know they hold you to a standard, obviously, to make sure everything's right and doing all that stuff. But did you have to go somewhere for training for that?
I did. So I actually went down to Smyrna, Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah.
We call it the 80-hour, but it's a train the trainer course. They have national trainers, Brian Heiss, Kim Palladino. They travel the country and certify trainers within each state.
Yeah.
So went down there for that.
And stayed on that team for, you said how long?
It was about 4 or 5 years.
That's wild. And was that continuously? Or did you go kind of break? Because I every time we've had people on, I always ask, because for a lot of them it's been the full-timers, and it's, I always try to reach out to some of these people that listen to the show, and it's like, hey, you got to get your foot in the door. You got to do different things, and a lot of it was, hey, I got on ADOS orders or a tech position or something. Right. But it really opens your eyes, because you never know where this ride's going to take you when you put this uniform on, and I think it it benefits a lot of people, and some people would benefit from it if they would put in for these jobs. And it might be something that you don't want to do, or it might be something that just it seems like you don't know nothing about. But just trying it out, it might lead to different positions or a different career path that you wasn't expecting. So
right, the state partnership program really opened my eyes to how big the National Guard was.
Especially
being at Joint Force Headquarters for the first time, I was like, wow.
Oh my
I
gosh,
learned so much about the top-down structure of the
my
National
mind's
Guard.
blown all the time.
And
trust me.
It's wild how vast that everything is. And
that networking and meeting people and how things work, and that's a good point, because I was the same way when I came up here. The Guard itself. I mean, you kind of have this perception at unit levels and battalion levels and stuff, but you get up to the state level and you kind of see everything in that broad picture and stuff. And it's just amazing. It's amazing what our organization can do, as well as operations or deployments or training or anything. These SAD missions and state of emergencies, and it is so cool to see the soldiers go out and perform and do their things, and then these NCOs pushing and driving and getting the training done or getting the mission done, and to me that's what makes the Guard something that's kind of unique. That I know it's the civilian soldier type thing, but I don't know. It's very very cool to see happen, but.
Right.
Once again, just if anybody's out there interested, always put in for those jobs. I mean, that's what I try to tell them. Put in for those jobs. You never know what's going to happen. So what happens after the Honor Guard? Did you go from there to your AGR?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was actually teaching a course one week, and I boarded for the position I'm in now, training NCO. 940th.
And you've been doing that for just a few years now?
A couple years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so going good?
It's going good.
Kind of a
yeah.
different beast a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of that learning point. But it was just the same way for you. You came out of the tech program, then went AGR.
Yeah, so while I was as a tech, I nagged Sergeant Major Stollard every day trying to pick information from her.
Yeah.
She probably got tired of me asking questions. I was constantly asking supply NCOs questions,
Right,
asking training
right.
NCOs questions,
Right.
trying to gain knowledge, and then going in boards, not doing
Yeah.
very well.
It's
And then
tough.
Eventually,
It's tough.
got one through that board experience.
Yeah.
And, I started as the 940th supply NCO in
Yeah.
2023, October
Okay.
2023.
So reclassed from 31 Bravo
Yep.
to the 92 Yankee role, and you stay 31. You're 31 Bravo regardless. So,
Yep.
yeah, and that's a thing, man. You learn a different role or whatever, but it's an opportunity, and yeah, that's definitely. I was supply for about 2 hours. I was, and that's the thing about the AGR program. Sometimes you go somewhere for promotion or you go somewhere for a different assignment, and I was always away from home for probably my first 6 or 7 years, in the Guard, and I lived 3 miles from an armory at the point, and they're like, man, supplies opening up. At this point, I've been like 4 or 5 years, and I was like, God, dude, I don't know nothing about supply.
Yeah.
But it was definitely well-rounded me in learning, that property book, those liens, and taking
Right.
care of property and stuff like that. So knowing all that and those hand receipts, and it definitely well-rounded. But I only did it for a short stint, so I tell people, about 2 hours. But about a year and a half, and then I got moved back to training. So, but once again, it's just what you do with it, right? What you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So. But yeah, that program's awesome. AGR to me, it's like we always talk about, one of the best kept secrets, But now it ain't a secret anymore to me. I think everybody pushes those and wants people to do well in their ranks. So anybody listening, if there's jobs out there, push them, push them to the Joes.
I think it did used to be a secret though. I probably my first 6 years, I never even knew what AGR was. I just thought these guys showed up to drill when we did.
Mm-hmm. People say it around you, and you're like, hell, I can't even spell AGR. You didn't know,
Right.
you didn't know what it was, but. So who's the readiness there at the 940th?
That's Sergeant First Class Webb.
Okay, I got
Joshua
you.
Webb.
Okay, and so with 3-person armory as
Yep.
usual.
Mhm.
How many people y'all have?
159 is what we're
Yeah.
supposed to have. We're sitting
Where
a little bit below.
right?
125-ish. Something.
What's some of that typical training events that y'all kind of do throughout the years? Is it always changing that you see, or is it?
Yeah, that depends on the year. We could go into a year expecting one thing. We'll
Yeah.
see it change throughout the year, just different taskings, whether it's getting ready for NGRF stuff or
Right.
shifting between our different Mets.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that's the thing for at least the full-time side too, is you always got to be ready to go one way and go the other, right? You got to be shooting at the hip, and with that you're expected so much, but once we kind of hone in on what the training events are, you kind of have that structure of this is how we operate. But I think what I've seen over time is some of these soldiers are they're getting very clever and coming up with new ways to train and reaching out and doing different things. And do y'all do that a lot at y'all's unit? Do you reach out to? Do you have to work with anybody in the public side of things, like civilian side, or?
I guess the closest we come to that is, on our state active duty missions
Yeah.
that we've done in the past, like Riverfest, for example. We work with local law enforcement there. So we'll communicate with them, set up where we're going to work out of, things like that. But as for training events, I don't think we've really encountered that yet.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. So, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We got to know, Sergeant Zelensky. We got to know Sergeant Burkhead. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about some of those training events, especially like the state active duty missions y'all do. I know y'all do a lot of them as far as security measures and stuff like that. So we'll dive into kind of that. We'll talk about a little bit more of the training what the MPs are doing currently and they have done, and then we'll finally get into El Gato and we'll talk about that AT. Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds
All
good.
right. We'll be back. Welcome back to the G3P. We have Sergeant Zelensky and we have Sergeant Burkhead here from the MPs. We're going to talk about some training, and we're going to jump into some of their training events and leading up to El Gato. And we'll talk about that later on. But real quick, let's give a shout out like we always do to the stuff that makes our life easier in the military. So, you're out there, we're spending money on groceries, and that's like $200 for one bag of groceries. Gas is $500 a gallon. man, if you're in the Guard, go to your supply sergeant and get these pins. These are free. That's the good thing about joining. You get free pins. They go in your sleeve. Even got a holder for you. They come in different shapes and sizes. I mean, I went to supply and got these for free. I went there, I was like, hey man, I need pins. And they come in, like, look at this look. This is kind of a, I don't know, more of a metallic, kind of shiny, but Crane, throw me a pin. Here we go. See, look at this. Oh, look, we fumbled. This is more of a stealthy looking thing here. But yeah, these pins, I mean, they've talked about being lethal. I think you can load this in an M4 and take somebody out with it, but hit your supply sergeant up. These pins, this is where it's at. Free. You heard me, Free. Just make sure you got them on your uniform before Sergeant Major sees you, not have a pin on you. Anyways, we're back, boys. So we've talked a little bit about your history in the Guard, and we've going to kind of establish what are we, training on. So throughout this past year, we've had some build up for, El Gato, the AT y'all went to in Ecuador. But what is some of the training that y'all exercise almost every year? Like, what's some of the stuff that MPs really do? Like riot control, or is it we pepper spraying some people? What are we doing? So
Yeah, so the MPs, they're used for a lot of different things. Could be working with local law enforcement, doing civil disturbance type work. Could be traffic control. And then you also got the combat support side of things where we're doing convoy security or critical site security. We're almost like a multi-tool for different areas of the military.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that, and y'all participate in some of the big events too. I mean, the presidential inauguration and stuff for the governor, the Derby, and what's that typical? How do y'all get trained up to perform for those? Are there certain things that y'all have to meet criteria wise to do that?
yeah, so a lot of what we do is pretty standard across each of those events, whether it's doing the security or doing the traffic control at these events. So obviously we train as a unit for this kind of stuff. Just about everybody, I would say almost in our battalion, has done some type of state active duty event like that.
Yeah.
So everybody's pretty comfortable with it. It's not really a surprise.
Right, something that
we're
you're just
used
ready
to.
for.
Yep.
So you have a young soldier come in. What is some of those training events that y'all try to really hone in on to get that soldier ready? What happens once they get in the door? They're in your ranks, and we're training up for the next SAD mission or whatever. What's some of those tactics that we use to really kind of hone in on? What's some of those things that they need to do?
So our battalion, they've actually started doing almost an academy. That's what we call it. It's the academy.
Okay.
So they'll go through and they'll actually cover all the NGRF related things they need to know.
Gotcha.
Whether it's the civil disturbance or work with OC, tasers, really just the entirety of working a state active duty mission for the Guard.
Did y'all get tased?
I mean,
No.
No?
I've
Did you
not
get pepper
been
sprayed?
tased. I have been sprayed.
Oh my gosh! I was talking to First Sergeant Oil Schaefer because he came back from AT, but that's what I said about the MPs. I was like, man, I think I'd rather be tasered than pepper sprayed. But I mean, I don't know. Both of them sound awful. But
yeah,
maybe
I made it 10 years as an MP, M-Day, without getting sprayed. Just got lucky.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
moving units.
well, you on camera now.
Yeah,
They got
no.
you next year.
Oh, supply sergeant.
You're like, I will supply you with the stuff.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
with some of those events, when it comes to supply, I mean, logistics is a big thing. Have you noticed with a lot of? I feel like it's a lot of op tempo for certain units too of where they're training at and different training events throughout the year. And how did you kind of fall in that role as a new supply sergeant? Did somebody? Who was your mentor? Who was there a process that you used?
So my first year as a supply sergeant, they were like, hey, by the way, here's all this NGRF equipment. So before me, the 617th, or before our unit, the 617th was the NGRF
Right.
For that year. Then it got handed to us. So on top of everything else, drinking from the fire hose, I had to do all the state active duty missions for our battalion for
Yeah.
that year. So that was rough. It's a lot of equipment, a lot of law and order equipment.
Mhm.
All the vests, all the belts, and all the accoutrements to the belt, and all
Yeah.
the flashlights, and all the batons and riot shields. It's a ton of equipment.
Do you have to maintain that, or does that go with the soldier, just like your OCIE type stuff?
Yeah, no. So we would issue that stuff
Okay.
at the time of the mission. So
Right.
we'd come in the day prior to the mission, have it all laid out, and
Yeah.
they'd go down the line, assembly
Inventory
line.
and-
Yep. Everybody
Gotcha.
gets one of everything.
Okay. So it's kind of an additional set
Mhm.
that you're getting issued when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, and then receive it all back and put it all up before everybody's released.
How did you learn your supply part of it? Was there a supply sergeant you backfilled that helped you out? Was there SOPs or was there...
So I was actually extremely lucky. When I came in as a supply sergeant, the supply sergeant I replaced was the training NCO
Okay.
at the time. So
Yeah.
I leaned heavily on
Right,
Staff
right.
Sergeant Cobbler.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because and that's the thing about some of these jobs that we always talk about too is drinking from the fire hose. I think it's the most famous line you always
Right,
hear.
right.
You're just kind of thrown into it, and it's up to you. But you got to make things work, and you got to keep accountability of stuff and different things. So to me, it's what makes that supply part kind of unique. But
Right.
yeah. So before El Gato, we did y'all did some Southwest border missions.
Yeah, so I was with the 438th. I accepted my E5 position down there. I volunteered to go with the 617th MP Company. In 2019, we were set to go to Guantanamo Bay and work the outer security.
Okay.
And then we were stuck in kind of limbo down there. Our mission changed. We were supposed to go to Iraq, then we were supposed to go somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere
Keeps
else.
changing. Yeah.
Ultimately, we were one of the first MP or just companies period to be down there on Title 10.
Oh, I got you.
So
Yeah.
we replaced an active duty
Right.
company. Did that for the year and then
Came back.
came back.
What'd you learn while you were down there? Was there different things? Was it a different experience?
Oh, so my first go around, yeah, it was a lot of sitting in a truck, staring at a river,
Guarding
talking on
base,
the
huh?
radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what was the difference between that and the second time?
So the second time when I got back, I was promoted as an E6 with the battalion. So I went down. We were in just a different capacity. We had companies underneath us in our task force, so we
Yeah.
were the top of the task force with companies below us. And so I worked in the 3 shop. And mainly, I was just
Yeah.
an ETS guy.
Yeah. Gotcha. And did you do one of y'all did Guantanamo Bay, right?
Yeah, I
You
went
did?
down there
Okay.
2019.
2019. What was kind of your mission set for it?
It was internal security.
Okay. That was a unique experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once in a lifetime for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, what made it like what made it a once in a lifetime thing?
I mean, it was only my second time out of the country.
Okay.
So going down, it really is beautiful down there.
Yeah.
Just seeing the oceans, some of the beaches down there. It's very nice.
Yeah. What so I guess like a guard, is that what y'all were doing? That kind of thing? What was some of the things you learned like doing that kind of stuff?
Learned a lot about some of the different procedures,
Yeah.
whether it's escorting someone or conducting a search.
And that's the thing.
Really just honed in on a lot of the stuff we already
kind of
practice
trained
and
on.
train on.
But did you notice the difference when you're training and then it's real life scenario? I mean, like,
Yeah.
does it seem like you hone in a little bit more on detail and stuff like that?
Yep,
And-
I think it really helps you focus on it.
yeah. How did you said you were down there for like 10 months? Was that?
Yeah, about a year.
Oh, about a year. Okay. Was it anything as far as being with your unit? Was there an NCO that you fell under that kind of showed you the ropes and you learned some stuff from, or was it?
Yeah, so I would say that really the whole platoon came together
Yeah.
while we were there, whether it was NCOs or the Joes. I think it was a time where everybody really blended together really well. Obviously, gearing up for a mission, going somewhere, and having to work somewhere like that, and actually working together, relying on each other.
Yeah.
I think seeing everybody come together was pretty significant.
Right, and doing it. Was there, I guess, when y'all were getting ready for like these missions and stuff, is there is there something like an SOP or a standard that y'all look at as far as your loadouts go, what equipment you need, different things like that? Like how do y'all attack that part of it?
Every mission's different. Every mission's going to require a different set of equipment or different number of people. So we kind of have expectations based on previous missions, whatever it was. But when it comes to that specific mission, that's really what's going to dictate what we need to train on. Like I said, we're like a multi-tool.
Yeah.
So we're prepared for a lot of different things. Once we figure out what we're doing, then we can really hone in on what we need to be doing.
Well, and that's, I think that with that, y'all doing your different training events or even, different operations, Southwest Border, Guantanamo Bay, but you even being at home, did y'all participate in this past the winter storm that we had? I mean,
We
it was
did.
kind of a state of emergency. We all kind of got called in on. Was there? It's crazy. That's what I was talking about with the Guard. How much you could be doing something one day, and then the next day you're doing this, and the next day you're doing that, and then all of a sudden the state needs you, and you're there. So, what was something that you could take away from that winter storm that y'all had to do? Or
Well, I think what a lot of our soldiers were able to take away from the storms was, you never know when something's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
So, we had IDT the weekend prior.
oh,
to
right,
that.
right. I knew units had that, right?
Yeah, a lot of, and we had our the 198th MP ball too. So that Sunday, everybody was at the MP ball,
Yeah.
or was it Saturday night? And then they were supposed to get off drill Sunday. You don't have to come to drill. And then psych, guess what? Stayed active duty.
Yeah, Uno reverse card.
So
Yeah.
they played the reverse card,
Yeah.
and everybody had to come in, and we were there. And then, of course, you got soldiers that say, "Well, my ACH is at the house."
Yeah.
Why is it at the house? So it was a good talking point for us to be able to tell them, like,
That's exactly.
that. This is why your equipment needs to be at the unit, and this is why
Yes.
our equipment needs to be ready. This is why our trucks need to be ready to spin up, because this stuff can happen.
Yeah.
It's not planned. And then we were stuck at a hotel for over a week.
Yeah.
So
And that's a great point when you go into training. You talk about training. Your equipment's everything, right? I mean, it's the soldier and the equipment, and bringing that point up that you learn things real quick. I mean, I remember being a young private. I mean, making mistakes and not thinking ahead, but just simple things of not having the equipment there with you. I mean, right there, it's already came somewhat of a speed bump when you're trying to do a mission set that just pops up. But
Right.
did y'all have to do anything as far as when it comes to winter storm of escorting people, taking people to hospitals or anything like that? Was there any kind of mission that y'all end up running?
not really for us. Northern Kentucky does a fantastic job, the best I've seen in the state of
Yeah.
preparing for winter weather.
Right.
So the rest of the state, I think, got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Not maybe unpreparedness, but undermanned. But Northern Kentucky, we were on standby and we were ready to go, and we did run training missions, refuel operations,
Yeah.
and practiced taking casualties here and there. But we didn't have any real world missions come up. But obviously, we were still there, or ready.
And
to.
utilizing your time. And that was a thing I think a lot that even got called in that certain areas wasn't as bad, or there was a plan there in that area. So, but using that time once again, the logistics side of it to an extent of making sure the vehicles are prepped, making sure you got all your equipment. But the training part of that, of actually training on, hey, this is how we can, escort somebody or take care of a casualty and get them to the place, and utilizing that time. Because I think that's one thing in the Guard that a lot of soldiers, they kind of somewhat can take for granted, and they come into drill, they don't understand, like, hey, we have to, we got to get after it because we have a certain amount of time. We don't have you every day like you are on active duty, right? And they come in, you got this plan, and everybody wants to talk about them, like, you don't want them sitting around and stuff like that, but you have to keep them engaged, and it's your job as an NCO to engage them. Like, hey, let's get up, let's train, let's work on this task, and showing them those ropes. So I think the winter storm, was kind of an eye-opener for some. I mean, because it was wild. They called the whole state in. So everybody coming in and doing that. But I still, once again, I thought it was really cool how the state responded and all this. I know some soldiers had drill, and they fell right into a state active duty mission. So
Right.
that's just, or a state of emergency. So it's just crazy how those things work out. But so upcoming, year before we get into El Gato, is there certain things that y'all kind of look at to, as far as, when it comes to training, what are some of the tasks at hand, what y'all have to do, where y'all, you train in certain areas and stuff like that? What all do you do technically?
Yeah, so like we said before, we got a few different METs, few different areas that we focus in. This coming year, we'll get into police operations, so like local law enforcement type stuff. So
Do y'all work with them like, do they come in on a drill, or do y'all go somewhere like during a drill to work with any kind of law enforcement?
we don't. We actually have a lot of law enforcement
Just
actually
in the
in our
ranks.
company.
That helps right there. But so do they do a lot of that training for you?
No, so we really focus on having our PLs, squad leaders, actually conducting that training. But, those SMEs will come in and they'll definitely help, whether it's giving information for the class or jumping in to give little pointers
Yeah.
while we're doing it.
I mean, that to me is where that dual threat pays off of, them being on kind of that response side and being law enforcement and being able to help kind of coach and mentor and do those things. But does it seem to be like with the up tempo of all the training that's going on, or is it something that's been challenging as far as, hey, this is what we're focused on, or this is what needs to be done this drill weekend, and we need to do this kind of training? How do you kind of man that part of it? You lean hard on those squad leaders and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a big focus on PLs and squad leaders jumping in and helping manage everything within their platoons. Obviously, you only get 39 days a year, whether it's going through your admin stuff, your training, logistics, different inventories. There's so many things that pop up throughout the year. So utilizing our leaders to actually manage time within their whatever echelon they're at, that does a lot for us to be able to accomplish everything we set out to do that weekend.
Yeah. And I mean, as we always go back to it, it's just so hard to kind of do the dual row of, a full timer and then, being a squad leader or whatever. So keeping up with that, and you lean real heavy on these squad leaders and platoon leaders to get out there and enforce the training and make sure it's happening and make sure the commanders, hey, this is what we're signing off on, this is what we're doing, and being prepared. So, well, let's do this. Before we get into El Gato, let's take one more break, and when we come back, let's talk about this AT y'all came back from and some of the TTPs and stuff that y'all have learned going over to Ecuador and training. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Welcome back to the G3P. I'm Sergeant B. That's a good rhyme right there. We have Sergeant Burkhead and Sergeant Zelensky. We've been talking from the MPs about some of the training they've been doing throughout the year, and they're trained up for their big AT this year, El Gato, which is, I should look this up, Spanish for the gato. Y'all know?
The cat.
The cat? Dang, man. I'm gonna one day, I'm gonna know my Spanish. The cat?
The cat.
I did not know that. Maybe somebody did tell me that.
The Guard annual training opportunity or operation.
All right. So that's kind of clever.
Ecuadorian legacy.
Yeah.
That came
Guard
after.
annual training.
Well, before we jump into that, let's talk about what's on this table, because I always go with the props and stuff. So I see we have our coin. That this is your commander.
Yeah.
Had these
Captain
made.
Ray.
Hell, you probably can't even see. There we go, Kramer. We'll improvise again. Can you see that coin? Does that look clear? God, I look huge in this camera. It's a pretty cool coin. So El Gato, Salinas, Ecuador. Okay. There we go. Ain't that cool? Very cool coin. Yeah. And we have a PT shirt, PT uniform, that this is what the Ecuador military wears, right?
Yeah, so this was a PT shirt from their Navy.
I was going to try this on. I look very much bigger than them, so I'm not going to rip your shirt. But okay, so the Navy.
The Navy. Yeah. So all our guys, while we were over there, they wanted to swap their PT shirts. Their guys wanted to do the same. So
Yeah.
a lot of people got some pretty neat shirts.
Nobody would have wanted mine because it would have been soiled with sweat. I sweat like a mother effer. But we'll edit that part out, Crane. But yeah, that's very cool. So just so people were wondering, that's where. Have you put it on? Have you tried to wear it?
I have not, no.
I don't know how I feel about long sleeves, man. I
I
swear
think
as
he
it
could
is,
fit
but-
the size. It's just the length.
Yeah, a little belly shirt. That look good, a little crop top. All right, so El Gato, the cat. So that was the big annual training event for you this year, and that was the first time in a while that the Kentucky Guard has done an AT over there, from what I'm tracking.
I think since the 90s.
98.
Yeah, over 20 years or something like that.
1998.
So I know that when we did the SPP program with Colonel Flores and Captain Sanderson, shout out to those guys, it was a fun time, that it'd been almost, we're going on 30, or it is 30 years of working with Ecuador on this stuff. So it was kind of a big deal doing this and going over and doing an AT over there. So first 24 hours y'all get over there, what'd you encounter? What'd you expect? Did expectations get met as far as having some? I'm sure this is some of the soldiers' first time being out of the country. So
Yeah, I think we were lucky to have been on some of the other SPP engagements.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually had the opportunity to do a recon before we got there.
right,
Would have been nice to have an advon going down, but
Yeah.
Everybody arrived at the same time, and luckily we knew where the hotel was, what to expect checking in, that kind of thing. One of the things we ran into right off the bat was speaking Spanish. So luckily
I'm very fluent in it, trust me.
I believe it. But we have a lot of Spanish-speaking soldiers in the unit, so they would jump in and help us out.
Gotcha.
Prior to that, like wheels of the ground, like C-130 hits the ground, we were lucky to have Captain Sanderson, which you mentioned earlier.
Right, yeah.
Like the tail of the plane came down, and there he was standing there.
He was waiting.
Directing traffic and getting all the equipment. You know, we took 9 unit packs worth of equipment with us.
Yeah.
On 2 C-130s.
Right.
And luckily we had Captain Sanderson to help us bridge the gaps.
Yeah. That's and that 100% helps. And as you said, even looking back, maybe an Avon, or whatever, to kind of go over there and kind of get the feel and where things need to go and be tracking that stuff. But having Captain Sanderson like that, sometimes that's a key player in the game. So so y'all get over there and y'all are focused on doing meeting your Mets, right? We're at annual training. What was some of the training areas that y'all had to use or utilize? Was it totally different from here in Kentucky or other places you've been? Or
yeah, I would say it's different. Actually, on our first recon we did, we found we were trying to do some kind of paintball training. Work on room clearing, things like that. So we reconned the site with them, and it had just a lot of debris and everything in the area.
Yeah.
We said what we were interested in, and they said, we'll have a building here when you guys come back. Well, we got there, and they had built an entire paintball arena for us to do our training in.
Really?
They put up buildings, they put up barricades.
And I mean, this place it was a concrete pad, but it looked like a dump, like a compost.
Right.
Just all the brush and all the trash they could find. It was like where they piled stuff up. They said it used to be a paintball field. And then when we got there, they had extra buildings. They had an arena made of sandbags.
So it was almost like a whole urban area.
And an observation tower.
Really?
It was wild. If you look at the video, you'll see a lot of the flyovers with the drone capture that. It's really nice.
That's amazing. And I mean, that's number one, great training. But I mean, for them to do that, I mean, you could really do a lot with that. So I'm assuming that event went very successfully. And
it did.
So I know we talked about with SPP, it's kind of more of kind of talking engagements and stuff like that. How did training go as far as, I know y'all are meeting your Met, the unit's training, you're doing your thing. How was it with were they involved in the Ecuadors? Were they?
So each one of our platoons paired with one of their branches. So we had first platoon would have been with what?
Infantry.
Army though.
Yeah, Army.
Okay.
Army, and then third platoon was with their Navy.
Right.
So just kind of paired together, all 3 platoons running through the same training, but with different branches of their military.
And they were kind of
integrated.
Training with you, but also just basically taking notes, observing, learning the tactics that kind of taking.
The primary goal was for us to train on our Mets with them integrated, but not necessarily. Our priority wasn't to train them; it was to conduct an annual training on our Mets in a foreign country.
Yeah, and I mean it's just what makes it somewhat unique though. Is you're pulling kind of that outside in and doing all this training, language barriers and things like that. So, but it's got to be an eye-opening, I would assume, for both sides, seeing, this is how we operate. But you're learning a little bit about their culture and what they do. So, besides the urban course they built for you guys, what other training areas did y'all go anywhere else as far as doing other training events?
Yeah, we actually did a lot of our main focus was nesting our NGRF Mets with our battalion's NGRF mission and strengthening the partnership.
Yeah.
So our days were kind of built around, we do PT in the morning, we'd go to class, do some training, and then after lunch we'd actually get into a partnership exercise. So that's where the paintball came in, whether it was room clearing or force-on-force events. But as for the actual training, we were working with riot shields, civil disturbance control, interpersonal skills, a lot of that, those kinds of events. So we had a few auditoriums that we'd go to for the classroom portion. And then when it came to actual hands-on training, some of it we just did right at the hotel we were at.
Yeah.
We found a pad and just worked outside out there.
We were also able, and they were very interested in taking time for them to show us things. So there was one day they wanted to. They have multiple obstacle courses, and they're crazy compared to the obstacle courses we have. It's like the concrete track with the crazy metal towers and ladders, and
Yeah.
some of our guys struggled. Some of our guys and gals struggled with some of their obstacles, but
Yeah.
they did a big demonstration for us, showed us how, they sent two of their fastest guys.
Yeah, of
through
course,
it.
the best.
And then
They're like, oh, they're average.
post that, being out in the sun all day on that obstacle
Yeah.
course, and they took us up to they have a giant Olympics pool, where their special forces SEAL equivalent trains.
Okay.
We got to go off the diving board, and then another day at the same pool, they gave us a water survival demonstration course.
Right.
It's like they're very interested in showing us things as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
And I think that's that's what makes it a good partnership with working with them and it being a big deal. But it's very amazing to me that the week they were over here when we shot the SPP episode that's what they were kind of doing. They were going around seeing how some of our different units train and how interested they are and I think that's a big thing on a global scale because we see all the conflicts that kick off and what's going on in different areas in different countries and learning those different TTPs and stuff like that and keeping that interest to help hone your skills, but go outside of your elements, right, and do something a little different. I think that's what really helps educate and train some of these soldiers, right, and what a great partnership to have with them. So what was there anything that you could think of that as far as the young soldiers and stuff like that they kind of really you knew that they were taking in? This is we're training, but we're learning stuff to win the nation's battles. You know
For
what
me,
I mean?
I think it was the first time some of these people, and even us on the recon and the engagements prior, it's their first experience with people expressing to you that America is a superpower.
Yeah.
They don't look at us as just the Kentucky National Guard. They look at us as the United States Army.
Right.
And they love the United States Army. They want to. It's almost like a little brother showing us how good they are. They want to impress us and prove to us that they're a worthy partner, and
Yeah.
I think they do a good job at that.
Yeah. Man, that makes you proud, don't it? And I get what you're saying with it. It's kind of crazy to think though that everybody you kind of I don't want to say take for granted, but you're being here, you put this uniform on, you want to be proud of it, but the outside aspect of it, of people like that, they want to own up to it, they want to show you their worth, and they want to work together, and it's so many different things out there that I'm learning as I'm up here, these different programs and different training events that you can go to, that these other countries they want to be involved, they want to help out, they want to be a team, they want to and to go out and train with them. It's a very special moment. So
Right, and like we've talked before, like training is training. You can train at Woodford Tech, you can train at Campbell, you can train at Knox. The training's going to be the training, but like if you get an opportunity to go to Ecuador, I really take it all in because it's training. You're doing the same training you would do here, but you have the opportunity to build a relationship and get to understand these people's culture and
right.
take some things back with you.
Well, with you saying that, it was a big deal because it was the 30th anniversary of this partnership. Was there any kind of celebration, some kind of event that because I know Colonel Flores and I had talked about it, of having something, and y'all happened to go in there and to train. So
separately, they didn't have. They did. So the tag came down. They threw a parade, I believe, in Quito, far away from where we were, and then they came to where we were and had the official ceremony.
Right.
With toast to glass, and they presented a video that the Ecuadorians had prepared for the 30-year anniversary, and then they also prepared a video for our annual training. So it was good. They gave some speeches. There was mixed up translations here and there, but they had technical difficulties with the mic.
It happens to everybody, man.
Yeah, but
it's like us this morning.
No, it was for me, it was a kind of full circle. I started with SPP.
Yeah.
Got to go to the AT, to the recon, to an engagement.
Right.
To a couple engagements, and then to be at the 30-year. It's kind of like in your episode with Sanderson, how he started, here and ended here. He got the full circle.
It came back, yeah. And
it's pretty fun.
That's what always makes it weird. I was talking about is these paths we take. You just don't know. You don't know where you're going to end up, who you're going to work with, where you're going to come back to. and different things like that. But keto, was that where it kind of started the training? I thought it was a keto, and then it went to Salinas.
So we flew directly into Salinas. Our
Okay.
whole entire AT was on that Navy
Right
coast.
there.
Yep.
Well, I guess maybe I want to say that I heard that keto. Maybe they did some training down.
They might
keto
have
back
done
in
some
the past or
planning.
something or whatever. And I've heard that place as well. But
That's typically where they do their KLEs for SPP is in the capital keto.
yeah, okay, I got you. Say I'm learning something already. Keto. Put that up there, Crane. Where's keto at? Learning the capital. So there we go. Well, I mean, so you complete everything. Mission complete. I've done all the Mets and stuff like that. Was there anything getting back? Was it tough coming back, or was everything pretty?
So for most
Getting
people, it was
equipment,
the first time being on a C-130.
Okay, yeah, that's fun, ain't it?
And that's fun. The second time, not so fun. You train for 2 weeks and then you hop back on a C-130 for a 16-hour flight.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not good.
yeah. All those comfy chairs and stuff you sat in on those
Yeah.
bad boys. But everything was good getting the equipment back and
Yeah.
logistics wise, working with them and getting everything back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were really flexible with us.
Yeah.
We told them what we needed because obviously we don't have our own resources over there.
Right.
So we tell them we need a truck, and they would do whatever they could to get us that truck to move our equipment. Or if it was buses so we can get around, they'd have them there
They
for
had
us.
everything there.
Every
Was
day.
those? That's a good thing. So people listening, if they're doing ATs over there,
Yeah.
on those recons and stuff, was those vehicles, were they our type of military vehicles, or was it theirs?
It was like trucks.
Yeah. Oh, just regular.
Actual
Okay,
trucks.
I got you.
Not
I
like
got you.
pickups, but
Yeah,
cargo.
they're like 1970. Their LMTV equivalent's like
Mhm.
a 1970 Mercedes.
Okay. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So getting all the stuff off the plane with forklifts and getting it over to where our quarters was fine enough.
Yeah.
And then we just did all the same on the way back.
Right.
Got everything loaded up. They were actually kind enough to stage their trucks the night before. We had, CQ put all our bags. We'd put all
Right.
our unit packs on the trucks and took it over there in the morning, loaded it up.
That's awesome. And that's why I want to bring it up, because I know really pushing to train with them coming over here and training with us and observing and different things like that. So people are listening, it's got it coming up. There's resources here now that's completed this, and they can, get in contact with you, but also kind of know those ways of the road, like what the logistics look like, what it look like as far as training and stuff like that. So, with that, is there any plans to maybe in the future go back, or is it them coming over here, or?
I believe this next AT, the Ecuadorians are sending their folks over here to partake in Northern Strike.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Man, that'll be awesome. They, because I know they came over here and worked kind of like the 20th group, and I think they were doing kind of like different things that they do as far as civil unrest and everything when they were training. So
Right.
them getting a more broader spectrum of how we're training as the military, as far as FA or infantry or whatever MPs, and I think them being involved would be great. Is Captain Sanderson and them coming as well, or is it y'all know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Shout out to them, man. I hope Colonel Flores, man, he was a good time. But well, with that, I think we've kind of checked the box on everything. El Gato seems like it was a success. The cat, we learned what the El Gato was. But all the different training events that y'all have done, I want to thank y'all for coming in today. I know short notice, we never even met. I mean, tell everybody, we never even met till today.
Yeah.
That's usually how these go. But it was a pleasure talking to you guys. I thank you for taking your time out. But obviously, we always have something we want to give our guests. And there's nothing more sexier that I always bring up than drinking out one of these bad boys, where you drink coffee or you drink your Monsters or whatever, or partake in something after hours. I don't know. Drink out of that cup. You'll look good in it. But that's the G3P mug. So without further ado, I hope everybody out there is safe, taking care of yourself, enjoy life, be healthy, stay lethal. We'll see them on the next episode. Good. Thank y'all, man. That was fun.
Thank you for joining us on the Kentucky National Guard G3 podcast, where we bring you the voices and stories behind the mission. Stay connected, stay ready, and we'll see you on the next episode.